I think there is an agreement this afternoon that mobile phones in the class can be incredibly distracting. The evidence across the education world is growing that it damages academic performance. It can be a major source of distraction. The kind of constant notifications, as we all experience on our phones, can create a state of hyper-vigilance, a lack of concentration. And it has an effect on the wider school in terms of the number of conflicts there are, the number of fights there are between pupils, conflict with teachers. I think there's an acceptance right across the chamber that that is the case. I think there's also an acceptance that it contributes towards the trio of issues that the Cabinet Secretary often talks about in terms of absence, additional support needs and behaviour. It adds to that mix and actually exacerbates the problems within that. And Patrick Harvey's point about the wider world of the internet is an extreme challenge to our way of life. And school is often a haven for education, for peace, for a bit of normality away from all of that in the wider world. If there's trouble at home, school can be a place of safety. And what we're talking about here is exactly how do we execute that. And I would like to see the evidence as to what the current policy of the Cabinet Secretary, the impact of that is so far. Because I hear some good examples of some where the phones are handed in at the front of the class at the beginning of the lesson and handed back at the end, and it has an impact on the performance of that class. But equally, I hear too often that there's still a debate about whether it's a good thing or not. And we should recognise that the evidence and the science is clear that it isn't a good thing for it to be happening in the class. And we shouldn't leave any doubt about that, and the Cabinet Secretary needs to play a role in that. And there's been a bit of a difference in the way that she's talked about it today. She said on the one hand that she thinks a distraction, but on the other hand she wants to leave it to the power of the head teacher. Now, I want to empower head teachers, but that kind of indicates that there maybe is circumstances where it's appropriate to have it in the class. I think we need to be clear that the evidence is growing, the science is clear, the studies are clear, that that state of hypervigilance is not a good thing.